Hey guys, it's me, Pigs Edits XXD, and I have a new series for all of you guys to enjoy. It's called the bedoys Retrospective. I got this idea from Luke Vaughn on YouTube with his SpongeBob retrospective videos, and that's what inspired me to make these videos. And we're going to be starting with 2023, mostly because it's one of my least favorite years. This is my series, not yours, so deal with it. Okay, let's get started. Oh wait, before we start, I just want to let you know that I found this new pig, thing from Google, and I'm going to be using it from now on. Well, not from now on, but I'm going to be using it until forever long I want to. Yeah, you can't control my life. Also, hit the like and subscribe button. I just had to say that. Okay, let's get into the video now. I feel really conflicted on this episode, mostly because I don't really know how to feel about it. I don't know if this episode is particularly bad, but it's also not particularly good either. It's just really in the middle. Well, it's more on the bad side, but still. Because this is one of those episodes where I can either support Voice actions, but also not, because Voice is really desperate to get a reward, yet he never gets a reward even when he helps people. Well, I mean, the school scene, he kind of was being desperate, but everybody else in this universe has an allowance, but Voice doesn't for some reason. Mostly because Voice's mom is a big brat and isn't giving Voice $2 for helping. Or $1, I forget, but it's $1. You can really just take $1 out of your wallet and give it to him. Oh my god. Well, you know what I do with bad episodes. 3 out of 10. Bad. Really meh. I have no idea what I should say about this. Be Calm Voice is one of those episodes where I know what happens. It's really not, but the stuff that happens is really not that interesting. Voice is mad, doesn't take his time. That's all I have to say about this episode. Other than that, Voice being a jack-o'-lantern in that one scene is the only good redeeming quality for this episode, and the only thing I can actively remember. I even quote it sometimes in my life, which might sound embarrassing, but yeah. Okay, moving on. Why was this section so slow? Don't Give That Away, Voice used to be my least favorite episode of this year, back when I actually made back when 2023 was just starting, and boy did that change drastically. But honestly, but that doesn't mean this episode isn't bad anymore. The episode's still really bad. It's just that, looking back at it, it's really boring. All Voice does is give some of his stuff away, then slowly regrets it. Yeah. You know, Voice wouldn't have regretted it if he actually used money. He had to trade money for it. Like, why would you give something away just by yourself? I'm sorry if these segments are short, but honestly, I have nothing else to talk about besides the plot of the episode. Okay, yeah, moving on. We got our first bad episode! Yay! So, this episode is just really boring. Not boring, but this is one of those, Voice can't do normal human things to episodes. Like, the episodes literally have, let's have a snowball fight, Voice. They only have one snowball fight, and the rest of it is just snow activities. And as soon as they actually get started with said snowball fight, apparently Voice was being too rough with Code. That sounded wrong, but like, what? That's what you're supposed to do in a snowball fight. It's called snowball fight, not snowball sit there and look pretty fight. And also, this episode spawns the weird joke in the Voice Bedoys fandom, which is the "Have I been a good boy all my life" scene. I don't understand what's the joke behind that. I kind of do, but I don't even know why this is like supposed to be so big in the fandom. Like, I've seen this 2 times on Reddit and the wiki page. How many times do we have to do this? Whatever. Let's move on to the next episode. Oh yeah, I also forgot the rankings for the last few. They're gonna be on the screen, but yeah. Party in the name. Is this going to be one of those episodes where Voice Boys cannot have fun? The party's supposed to be safe? Yes, and also no. It's basically just a mix of Voice Boys disrespecting rules and they did it once. And the same thing that happened in Don't Do That at Parties Voice Boys, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's have a snowball fight, Voice Boys. They had a pillow fight in this episode. This is only in chronological order, but all I know is that there's a pillow fight in this episode, and guess what? Voice Boys are being too rough. Or maybe it's just him being loud, I forget. I'm not really watching half of these episodes because they suck. But, all I know is that they had a pillow fight, and also Voice Boys trashed up the bathroom. And that's all I remember from this episode. The rating's on the screen right now. And let's move to the next one. Hopefully the next one isn't bad. Uh-oh. If you snooze, you lose Voice Bedoys. If you snooze, you lose Voice Bedoys. Worst episode of 2023 and the worst episode of Voice Bedoys history. This episode sucks, and the person who written this was probably drunk while making this, because no sane person will actually greenlight this episode. So, first off, Voice Bedoys goes to school and sees Flora looking tired, and Maker asks, wow, Flora, you look like a zombie. And one says, Maker, that's not nice to say. And not even 1 second later, she says, she agrees with Maker. Like, what? How does that even make sense in the possible slightest? And the reason why is because Flora hit the snooze button. Voice Boy says that he never hits the snooze button. And Miss H talks about reading buddies happening the next day. So they're all excited and everything. And Voice Boy goes home and is late for school the next day. And he sees, you know what should I call the reading buddies? Oh yeah, the reading turds. So Voice Boys encounters the reading turds, and they do this little post thing, yada yada yada. And Voice Boy says, "Oh well, can you guys read me a story real quick?" And they're like, "Okay." Once upon a time, there was a kid that was late and missed reading buddies. What? You could have at least told him a short story, Already, this episode is only 2 scenes that I've talked about so far, and this episode is already probably the most mean-spirited episode ever. Yeah, Voice Boys might have been bad, but, not this bad. What are you guys even talking about? And then, Voice Boys walks in the class, and everybody's talking about, "Oh, you missed reading buddies, ha 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 ha," which... Yeah, and Miss H says, there's going to be an award ceremony tomorrow. And Voice says, I never got an award before, this is going to be amazing. And guess what? He's late again. And if you were a teacher, what would you do? Would you, 1, give Voice his certificate when he shows up? 2, forget, I don't have anything for 2. Or 3, would you throw it out in the dumpster and make Voice humiliated and never give him an award ever again? Well, if you picked 3, you would be correct. Voice misses out on a freaking award. Maybe it's just the Canadian school law where you have to be early and be there to get your award. But still, why does this episode have to be so mean-spirited? Like this episode would have been much better if Voice could have just got what he wanted. Except no, we can't do this because Voice is a bad character. Worst episode in Voice history. Also, I was on the wiki earlier today before making this video. So if you control the Woohoo Storytime of Voice wiki, please add in the trivia section that this is my least favorite episode and really emphasize it too. Okay, bye. Thank you, bye. Let's move on to the next. Oh yeah, I forgot the ranking. 0 out of 10. No, this being 0 out of 10 is just being too generous. You know what? Negative 1,453,516. No, just make up a random number. I don't care. That's how bad this episode is. And even if I use that, that doesn't even explain how bad this episode is. I'm probably being way too generous right now. Burn this episode and burn it in a fire. Episodes like these are the reason why I wish Woohoo Storytime were on YouTube Kids, and that the comment section would be flooded with this episode sucks. Is what I wish. Moving on. It's a Fire Drill Bedoys is a boring episode. When I'll rewatch this episode and I literally have nothing to talk about. But hey, at least we get the return of Super Bedoys and Thorn. I'm still trying to catch my breath from that garbage episode we don't talk about rant. But still, even if I didn't have that rant, I would still have nothing to talk about for this episode because just Voice having a fire drill and that's it. Also, I wanted to mention that this episode has Voice and Kurt and Hopper planning a party at Maker's house when we literally had that exact same episode 2 weeks beforehand, or 5 or 6 weeks. I don't know. I don't like doing math, but still, and Maker disapproves of it. So like, Voice, why can't you just have it at your house? Like, you have a house too. Oh yeah, but yeah, this did come out the same month as the episode about Voice's parents not letting him have candy. So I'm pretty sure that's why he didn't consider having a party at his house. Even then, this episode is still boring. Moving on. Wow, look at this. It's a Voice torture episode. Yay, we love those. It's essentially just Voice and friends trying to get Voice to save the Earth by doing the stupidest things I've ever heard. Yeah, I know they're trying to save the Earth, and it was Earth Day. But like, they could have done it in a much different way that didn't make this a Voice torture episode. Because like, why would you bring your own forks from home? Like, yeah, like seriously, that's. And Voice clearly doesn't want to do any of this, but his friends truly insist. Like, seriously, why does this happen? Like, Why is it with Voice Boys torture episodes this year? Because guess what? The next one is a Voice Boys torture episode too. Get ready. Oh God. When I said there was going to be a Voice Boys torture episode after the last Voice Boys torture episode, I meant it. Because, you know that... Because this episode is essentially, if you watch Daniel Tiger or have been on TikTok, that one episode of Daniel Tiger wanting a present that when it's his sister's birthday. Yeah, that's BS. But this episode literally is the exact same idea, except Voice Voice's crash outs are valid. Wanna know why? You might be saying, but Pigs at its XXD. He shouldn't be selfish. Well, he's not being selfish. Maka is literally getting favored. Like he gets picked first for everything in this episode. But it's his birthday. Yeah, that doesn't. Just because it's his birthday doesn't mean you get special treat. Oh yeah, that's right. Well, just because it's his birthday doesn't mean he has to get picked first for everything. Like, he could handle being second for at least one thing. Like, what is it with this show and Maka getting favored? Because I don't know if I said this, but I'm pretty sure I have in the comment section, but not in an actual video. If no hitting Voice Boys was based around Maka hitting people, Maka wouldn't get in trouble. Voice Boys would still get in trouble because he stole blocks. Like, the double standard in the show for characters is absolutely crazy. And I can't tell, but what about the episode? I have nothing about it. All I know is that Maka is literally getting favored, and like, what am I supposed to say about an episode about a character getting favored? You tell me. I'm sorry, but I have nothing to say about this episode because it is so damn boring. The only thing I can say is that they should have used mom in the title instead of mother because it would be more funny. Funny. Ugh. Also, why did you say Bakers instead of Lakers? You know, a basketball team is not gonna sue you. Again, I have nothing to say about this episode. The only thing that I can say about this episode is that the moral that they're trying to teach is probably the stupidest moral I have ever seen in a kid's cartoon. Like, the moral of the story in this episode is just, if you don't smile at people, they're not gonna befriend you. Okay, yeah, you know, shy people do exist, and most shy people don't smile when talking to people, yet the person that they're talking to you is still friendly. Like, this moral is so stupid, and they're teaching kids that, oh, if you don't smile at someone, they're gonna hate you. Like, no woohoo story time. No, they're not going to give a flying crap if someone's not smiling. Also, this is the first time Sita was used, and for some reason, you know, like Hopper and Coda are used in a lot of episodes, yet Sita hasn't been used since like 2024, I'm pretty sure. Like, what happened to her? At this point, we need a new teacher, and Coda, Hopper, and Sita to be in the same class because then it will actually make these characters more interesting. Moving on. You the man, Voice Boys. Oh my god, is that what I think it is? After so many Voice Bedoys torture episodes, it's an actually good episode? Finally, we have a good episode! I don't know, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if my reaction said so, but I was rewatching the first few seconds, and it was probably the most time I laughed at this show in a while. Mostly, even though Royce was insufferable in the few amount of seconds, it was still really, really funny. Also, this episode gave out spoilers to Chijimon, which is totally something, because technically Voice Bedoys is watching people in the same universe as him, because they ran out of ideas and Be Kind to Your Elders Voice Bedoys, and Chijimon characters started appearing everywhere. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. But even though the first few seconds were good, that doesn't mean this episode is perfect. We'll get into a perfect episode later. But at least this one's funny. So I guess I'll give it a 7. But it's going to be a 10 out of 10 episode sometime soon, so stick around. Oh yeah, this is the first time I actually said the rating of the episode instead of me just displaying it on the screen, so yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this about a Voice Bedoys episode, but this episode is really confusing. First off, why would they post a video about 4th of July when it was posted in June? Second off, aren't these people Canadian? Isn't Voice Bedoys Canadian, according to the wiki? So why are they celebrating the USA's independence when they're Canadian? I'm pretty sure they just wanted to pump out an episode. But also this is a safety episode about fireworks. The title literally has fireworks safety for kids. Fireworks aren't and will never be safe. The entire point of fireworks is to blow them up. Hence the name fireworks, not let it sit there works. Also, apparently in Voice Bedoys land, kids aren't allowed to use sparklers, which is really weird to me, because when I had my 4th of July, everybody was allowed to have a sparkler. Even my 7-year-old cousin got one. Make it make sense. I'm pretty sure they're just scared of Voice Bedoys throwing it at people, but seriously, he is not going to do anything. That's all I have to say about this episode. 4th of July, Voice Bedoys signing off. America. Let's Make Colors is a confusing episode. A confusing episode after a confusing episode. Wow. Because Voice Bedoys is rumored to be 11, yet was he 10? Yeah, in this episode he's 10, yet he doesn't know how to make colors. This episode makes me feel like I'm Albert Einstein. Also, and that's really all I have to say about this episode. Also, Royce has a jump scare.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that.
Yeah, scary. Moving on. Hopefully this next episode isn't a Voice Bedoys torture. Oh my god. Oh my god, is that what I think it is? It's the best episode of 2023 and the best episode of Voice Bedoys ever. This episode is amazing. I don't understand how the best episode and the worst episode were in the same year. But who cares? I'm in a good mood because of this episode. So, Voice Bedoys is talking about poems. and all of that with Lois while watching butterflies and roly-polies and crap. And then when Voice goes to school, they're talking about something about like a talent show or something. And Voice doubts himself the entire episode, but at the end he finally stands up for himself and is brave. Like this and the superhero episode are the best episodes of this entire series. But there is a con about this episode. It's not even about the episode itself. It's about rewatching it. Whenever I rewatch an episode I react to, I always just watch the reaction. But this episode, I did it in Toca Boca, and I had to do it with Voice Bedoys. So me and Voice were interfering the entire time. I don't understand how I thought that was a good idea, yet I did, and I posted it, and yeah, I seriously cannot watch it because I don't want because it's basically just me and Voice fighting each other. So if you see Be Brave Voice Bedoys reaction remastered sometime soon, it's probably because you'll probably know if you watch this video. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about the best episode of Voice Bedoys ever, the GOAT. Wow, Voice Bedoys just really hates me. Right after a really good episode, the best episode of Voice Bedoys, they hit me with one of the worst episodes of this year. It's not always fair, Voice Bedoys. It is bad. So first off, Voice has to do more harder work than Lois. They didn't say this in the episode, but I'm pretty sure the reason is because Lois is small and doesn't know and can't take accountability. Okay, so he can at least help. And when he gets to school, Truly and Flora, they start talking about Chijimon. And after the teacher told them to stop talking, they still were talking. Like, I'm pretty sure they heard the teacher and just did that because they hate Voice Bedoys. Like and then Voice Bedoys gets 1 point off on his test because he spelled the word small wrong. Like, you know, I could have just dressed up as you, went into the universe, dressed up as you, and did the test for you because because small, I can spell small with my eyes closed. Like, it's not that hard. I know. Also, plus, wasn't he 10 this episode, yet he still didn't pass his test? Whatever, this episode is just really, really bad and boring. Moving on. This episode is really boring and I have nothing to say about it. Besides that, Voice makes a Cypress Hill joke. That's something. A Voice Bedoys episode where I can't defend Voice Bedoys. Oh, the humanity! And there's a reason for that. So Voice Bedoys technically just manipulates people into giving them stuff. And that's basically the entire episode. There's nothing else for me to talk about except that near the end, Truly just forms a bubble around her for some reason. Why couldn't we get a Voice Bedoys Chijimon episode where Voice Bedoys acts like where Voice Bedoys gets up with a gang and they make their own off-brand Chijimon called Pokemon? That would be so funny, and it would probably be the best episode of Voice Bedoys, but it would probably never happen. And Woohoo Storytime, also guys, tag Woohoo Storytime so they can see this, and tag this part so they can see so you can see that I want a Chijimon episode where Voice Bedoys and friends are the Chijimon. And they're called Pokemon because Chijimon's just Pokemon as a ripoff. But back to the actual episode. There's nothing else for me to say about this episode. Why did I even add this part in? I'm super mixed on this episode because the humor in this episode is amazing. This episode probably made me laugh the most when I was rewatching it. But also for the actual story and plot, it's really bad because Voice Bedoys is literally saying that he hates himself in the basketball scene. And whenever Voice Bedoys does something like that, we're going to see a lot of that in the 2024 retrospective. That's one of my oh hell no moments. And you do not want to make me go that far. That was like really embarrassing, but still. Also, Hakuna Matata. Why are we okay? Why are we just saying the Lion King song? I know what it means, but whenever I was watching this episode, I was like, hey, isn't Hakuna Matata a song from Lion King? And I'm correct because it is, and it's a really good song, but why do we keep saying it? Also, this scene. Like, the jokes in this episode are just comedy gold. Yeah, the plot just has to be so bad. So I'm going to do an audible ranking. Okay, so for the plot, 1 out of 10. But for the humor, 10 out of 10. The best episode of this year when it comes to humor. Also, this was the last episode I did before moving on to my Voice Bedoys hiatus. Just let that sink in. Wow, look at this. An episode that I have no idea how to talk about it. All I know is that this is showing some of Voice Bedoys' friends how hypocrite-y they are. Because Gwen and them wanted Voice Bedoys to do this trick off the ramp, and they were like pressuring him into doing it, and Voice Bedoys was like, hell no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to break my legs. And then they're like truly insisting, and then Voice Bedoys says, I'm just not doing it. I don't care. They're just like, yeah, I agree. Like, weren't you just pressuring him into doing it? And don't worry, this isn't the only time Voice Bedoys' friends are showing that how much of a hypocrite they are. They did this in 2022 because it's more of a double standard because in the episode we didn't ask for your opinion. Voice Bedoys is literally getting shamed because he's saying bad things about everybody. Yet there's an episode which with the exact same premise except Voice Bedoys is the victim. Like, are you serious right now? I'm moving on. This episode has false advertisement. It's apparently supposed to be stop being rude to your mom, Voice Bedoys, when practically the entire episode is just stop being rude to your mother. Yeah, he is rude to his mother sometimes, but it's only like it's only like 20 seconds for each if you add up all the segments together. And plus, he literally is getting in trouble for not wanting to go home. After saying it out loud, I understand why they would be mad about that. I just made it up for filler because, what am I supposed to say about this episode? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. I was just singing the new, Harry Maupin song. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah. So this episode is basically just Roy's seeing stuff on TV that isn't true, and that's it. And honestly, the only thing that saves this episode from being a 5 is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which ironically that it's just a real word. It isn't even trademarked. They just used it in the song because, I don't know, I never watched Mary Poppins before, but I just know that they just used it for a song just to be whimsical, and that's just it. Like they're not gonna get sued by using a word that's literally in the dictionary. Like, look at this, it's in the dictionary. Moving on. Here it is, the big, cool Christmas special. This is probably the worst Roy's Christmas special we've ever got. Besides the one that we also got in 2024. Mostly because, that's something weird. Roy's Christmas specials have been getting bad because the entire plot, even though this episode does really have a cool plot. Okay, yeah, I take that back. This is probably the best Christmas special, in my opinion. That's the worst ones. The one in 2024 is definitely the worst, but we're gonna get to that one later. Because the only thing I remember from that one is that Roy's bedoys is the one went there because she was food. But this one is still kind of good because it's just how Roy sees how he is in the future. So it's basically the B episode from this year that we're also going to get to soon, except way better, and it's about Christmas. So yeah, that's really all I have to talk about this one, because it's really not that interesting. But it's still at least a good Christmas special. Probably the best Roy's Christmas special. Because the other Roy's Christmas specials, it's just Roy's complaining about the gifts that he got. With the exception of 2024, but still, the episode, I forgot that episode even existed. And guess what? 2022 didn't even have a single Christmas episode. Well, what about the couch now? Well, that's different. I meant like a real Christmas special. A Christmas special that about Roy's gifts and all that Christmas joy. Not him reviewing a stupid book. Now, one more until this video is completely done. The last episode of the year, and it's really, really boring. So Roy's sees this person named Brother Bam who's really rich and goes on vacations like every single day, even though he's probably lying and is just a big dork. And Roy's is like, how about I copy his this guy's cool, how about I copy him? So he does exactly what Brother Bam does and gets shamed for it. What I mean get shamed for it, I don't mean it in a way that this is a Roy's torture episode. I mean it in a way because Roy's and friends already hated Brother Bam. Everybody there probably thought it was fake. So when Roy's did it, they were like, stop really being fake, which isn't true because they actually thought it was true at the start. Seriously, I have nothing to say about this episode. And And that's all, folks, for this year. God, I just ranked like 40, like 30, 20 something episodes. And I also did the editing. I need a break. After that cat bar. Just show how tired I am. Roll the credits.